Hello everyone, this is White Wolf, and we're going to be going live talking about our beliefs being attachments to assumed ideas, to assumed versions of ourselves, and to past experiences within traumatic events that we have adopted over the years as being a human. And as we grow and as we change, we turn our belief systems into support systems, and then we transcend the limiting beliefs by not identifying with the limiting belief and not allowing the limiting belief to take our power away and to allow us to fall back into certain patterns that we've assumed ourselves to be. So when we have a limiting belief, the only way to really release the limiting belief is to have acceptance towards it and to know that it's not a real thing and know that it's actually helped you and assist you in order to grow and to expand and to really level up and to progress as a spiritual being of love and light. But you realize that the limiting belief has nothing to do with you, and it has nothing to do with your overall growth, but it has something to do with you growing, with you shifting, with you progressing, and has something to do with you allowing yourself to change the narrative and to change the theme or the story of that said belief that you're assuming yourself to be. So a way that you can release the limiting beliefs, or understanding that the beliefs are you being attached to that certain idea of yourself, instead of looking at yourself as a lesson, instead of looking at yourself as progression, but looking at the limiting belief and does it have meaning? Does it have relevancy? Does it have a reason to be here anymore? But how do I release the attachment of that belief? But first you have to accept that the belief seemed to be true at that moment in time, but now you're seeing past the illusion of it and the delusion of it, and you're seeing past how much work you have to keep perpetuating that limiting belief. And then what you're going to do is that you're going to accept it beyond all personal bias, and what you're going to do is that you're going to let go of the belief, the attachment of the belief, the meaning of the belief that allows you to see and access so many different memories that are attached to the limiting belief. So understanding that beliefs are attachments to certain circumstances, to certain experiences, to certain traumatic events that are not really real and that are not really going to help you progress along the journey. So when you are dealing with a limiting belief, the only way to let go of it and to transcend it is to realize that you're not conditioned by it, you're not labeled by it, you're not identified with it, and that every time that it kind of arises, you're going to try to allow yourself to avoid it and ignore it. But this isn't suppression, but you're being persistent by being aware of it. And then if you're aware of it, then you see it and you don't see the truth or the validity in it, and you don't see that it has some form of relevancy, and you don't really understand or discern that it has something to do with you. It has nothing to do with you. It has something to do with your thoughts attached to it. It has something to do with your ego that's attached to it. It has something to do with your limiting beliefs that you are supporting yourself with, instead of using your beliefs as a support system. So a lot of the times we don't use our belief systems, our support systems as beliefs. So beliefs are only a gateway to empowerment. So when you're choosing to believe something, you're choosing into the manifestation of it, but you're having faith in the ability to empower yourself. So if you have the ability to empower yourself and have faith in what you're believing in and what you're assuming and what you're directly aligning towards, that means you have the ability to look at the limiting belief as a stepping stone, as progression, as a way of healing, but also as a way of letting go and transforming your current state of consciousness. But you have to accept it, and you have to accept how it got you here and how it helped propel you to be who you are at this exact moment. Because the limiting beliefs allow you to become unlimited. It allows you to be limitless. It allows you to be infinity. Because in the infinite realm of possibilities, the belief system, the thoughts, the emotions that support who we really are have a direct correlation on how we manifest and how we attract and how we eliminate and how we find discernment and authenticity to find new belief systems so that we can put it in place of those old belief systems. So now we're able to have the discernment and the wisdom and the courage to let go of what truth, a false truth that we're perpetuating, that we're assuming ourselves to be, that we're adding so much value to. Now we're switching the flip. We're flipping the switch. I said that backwards. We're flipping the switch, and we're changing the direction. We're changing the narrative. We're changing the theme. We're changing the story. And we're changing the way that we go about the circumstances that even attract the limiting beliefs within our lives. So the direct correlation on how you can discern who you are in this moment, on how you want to act, on how you want to feel, directs the way you want to become, the way that you want to go about life. If you're going by your heart and your wisdom and your discernment and your faith, you will only have the belief systems that support your thoughts, that support your emotions, that changes the polarity of light and dark, of positive and negative. So you're changing how you're accessing the frequency. You're changing how you're accessing the energy. And you're changing how you're going about this moment here and now. That means you're changing the circumstances, you're changing the experience, but you're also changing the reality. So now everything around you is being healed and transcended because you're not going by human conditioning. Beliefs are human conditioning. Now, beliefs that support our empowerment are progression and transcendence and allowance, because you're allowing yourself to receive something higher than yourself, because you're going beyond yourself, your mind, your body, and your spirit, and your ego. You're going beyond that, and you're really allowing yourself to perceive, to think, to act, and to actually flow with life and to receive free will within yourself. So this means that you're completely going with your heart's desire. It means you're not suppressing anything, and it doesn't mean that you're completely ignoring it or as an avoidance of running away from it, but you're actually not giving it the time and day so that it can't infiltrate your space and infiltrate your energy and allow you to fall back out of alignment so that you're assuming yourself to be something else that you are not. So therefore, we're using a different way of the law of assumption. You're assuming that you're healthy, that you're whole, that you're vibrant. Then your faith is impacted on that. And then you're able to have so much faith within yourself that you know yourself and that you accept yourself, and you're going by your truth. That means that you're empowering everything that you're wanting to instill and to imbibe and to emit that frequency within yourself. And therefore, that empowerment changes into a shift. It means that you're making an actual change within your vibration. So the change inside of yourself is the change that you want to become and the power that you want to encompass. That means that you not only want change within your relationships, you want change within your finances, you want change within every aspect of your life, and it all stems from your belief systems. That's why we practice detachment, because if we don't practice detachment, then we are not allowing ourselves to let go of the attachments that we have to those belief systems. So then we're assuming ourselves to be negative. We're assuming ourselves to be unworthy. We're assuming ourselves to be less than. And it's always not, it is what it is. It is always what it could be more. That's the best perspective that you can have over that. Because most people think that this is my lot in life. It is what it is. But they never think for a second that it could be so much more because of their current state of consciousness, their thought processes, their belief systems, and also the way that they view themselves. So I may not look like Chris Hemsworth. That's fine. But I look like me. I look like myself. I look like a guy wearing a long sleeve shirt and a hat. And I'm happy with that, and I'm content with that, and I'm okay with the person that's looking back at me. But you have to be thankful for what God's Source Energy and the Great I Am has given you, because the divine channel that's inside of you is the energetic signature and the cosmic DNA that has been here since the dawning of mankind. So how could that not be so special and loving and vibrant? Because it's not about what it looks like on the outside, but it's about the energy that is inside of you. And then the outer presence in the outside world has no other choice but to change with you and to move with you, because you're reinforcing the very fact that you have a powerful belief system that supports your ideas, that supports your manifestations, that supports your emotions. And it could be just certain affirmations that you use, like I am blessed, prosperous, wonderful, amazing, and I manifest everything at great speeds exponentially. So what you're doing is that you're using switch words to change the narrative and the story and the direction and the theme of your life. So these different words, these different phrases, these different sentences really allow you to develop the sense of a person that really loves themselves, that have acceptance beyond themselves, and they realize that the suffering of the limiting belief actually was your greatest teacher. Because if you didn't have those belief systems intact, they wouldn't allow you to really embark on new belief systems that you have about your life here and now. So when we have new belief systems installed within our hard drive, and we really allow ourselves to go the extra mile and change the way we think and change the way we feel and completely change the way that we go about even loving other people and being of service to other people and treating people a little differently than we once before. It means that you change as a person. As the energy gets more intense and it gets more vibrant and it gets more alive and it gets more here and now, it really allows you to understand and to discern who you need to become in that moment. So beliefs are attachments. Beliefs are attachments to ideas, of false projections, of false thoughts, of a false identity of the ego, where it doesn't allow us to heal, it doesn't allow us to grow, and it doesn't allow us to become who we really need to become in that moment. And it doesn't really allow us to think for ourselves or act for ourselves, and then we kind of go back into our shell and we're not so extroverted, we're more introverted, and we're back to ground zero and we're back into our shell and we're boring, and then we cave to anything that is new within our lives. So beliefs are making you be attached to something that is greater than yourself. So that means that the belief systems that you change are giving you a way to detach from negative attachments and patterns and situations and people that you may have cords still. So our belief systems are more cosmic than we think and more magical than we think, because the belief systems that we have here and now, it could be a happy thought, it could be a happy memory, it could be a way that you meditate in the morning and you just get into the right frequency and the right frame of mind and the right direction on who you need to become that day. But what that means is that you're changing the way that you live your life and knowing that every day is a gift. Every day that you live is another day to go about life in a different way. It means that you have another chance, that you always have options, that you always have choices, that you always have a way to bring yourself out of a debilitating state instead of using your other belief systems as a battering ram to yourself that does not really help you and actually makes you feel worse. And if you're wondering why I'm rubbing my face, I'm really sweating. It's really, really hot. And I couldn't be live outside because there are roofers and it's so loud and annoying, and I couldn't take it. But I was really thinking about this because I never talked about a live feed where I talked about belief systems. And I think that a lot of people in this collective really want to know about belief systems, because I do think that they have some form of validity. And I think it does help you validate yourself. And I think it helps you address problems that you're having, even with others, even with yourself, and also issues that you have within your life that you feel like you can't solve. And the reason why that is because the emotional guidance system kicks in. And when something feels like it's rigid or there's insistence instead of being resilient and persistent, that means that the emotional guidance system lets you know that what you're thinking about or what you're doing makes you feel bad because it's coming from a source of distortion. It's coming from a source of negativity. It's coming from your old patterns in your own way, and you can just break that off in an instant and just make the choice that I'm going to turn over a new leaf today and that I'm going to live a completely different life today. And I'm just going to shatter the old patterns and the belief systems, and I'm going to let go so that I can transform, so I can detach, so that I can have a healthy form of attachment, because there is a healthy form of attachment. Not being attached to people, places, and things, and not being attached to just nice words, but just really giving yourself a way of thinking that you don't think in that way because it doesn't make sense. You don't act in that way because it doesn't make sense. Because you're actually learning about the transcendent reasoning that is on this earth plane. So as we learn about transcendent reason, we're actually being rational instead of irrational. Because if we have limiting beliefs, we're being irrational. We're being hard-headed in a sense. And I know what that's like because I can be very hard-headed. The chosen ones that are hard-headed usually are the ones that have the greatest teachers in the collective. Because you have to be hard-headed in order to hit your head so many times that you kind of get the point, and you don't want to go in that revolving door, and you don't want to fall back into those same belief systems that make you assume that you're this mucky pond or this monster or this gremlin or this ego that is just wanting to be subservient to itself. It wants to serve itself. It wants to serve its purpose. It wants to serve hurting itself instead of transcending itself and really acquiring spiritual mass within ourselves. And really allowing ourselves to understand that when we have belief systems that goes against our resonance, our truth, then we are creating a distorted illusion instead of creating an illusion of co-creation, because what you're doing is that you're actually creating with your higher self and you're channeling that within your divinity. So therefore, there's a co-creation within your soul and your higher self, so that there can be a completed light body, so that you're like the car that drives itself. I've said that for 3 years now. Because if you're like the car that drives itself, then that means that there is a force behind you that is actually allowing you to perceive and think and really dissolve your pain and your attachments and your deception over those limiting beliefs that you really believe in, because you're giving your power away to it, and that's why it feels bad, and that's why you will always fall back into those patterns, because you're not really finding out what the truth is and what the root cause of why it feels bad, but also why it happens, why you manifest certain things, why you manifest certain people. And then that's why that's a false illusion. And then now you're actually projecting worlds into existence with your belief systems, because you're actually putting in place so many different parallel realities. So that means that you're tapping into the realm of infinite possibilities, and you're actually rolling the dice and seeing where it lands. Because you're taking a risk, because you're wanting to have faith, you're wanting to be in truth, you're wanting to walk the fine line of your belief systems, and knowing that you have the ability to change them whenever you want to change them. So you have the choice to eliminate them, to avoid them, to ignore them. And I'm not saying that as a way of spiritually bypassing, because they will arise all the time. They always do. No matter how enlightened that you are, they will always try to infiltrate you. And you just have to choose to be like, okay, I see you, but you can buzz off, right? So that allows you to just, because then you can spend a whole month or spend 2 weeks dealing with a past lifetime regression. And sometimes there just needs to be healing. But in the case of like thoughts and emotions, that's really what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about healing of past lifetime regressions or healing within yourself and letting go. That's different. But when that arises, you have to just kind of put your foot down and not give your power away to it, because it doesn't make sense to keep perpetuating that. And both of my legs are asleep. That's the best when you're doing a live and both of your legs are asleep. So I hope you guys are doing well. And also, guys, I wanted to let you guys know that you can book private sessions with me, $120 for 1 hour, 2 hours for $220. I have PayPal, Cashapp, and Venmo in the description here. And we're going to be doing a meditation to allow ourselves to really let go and to transcend limiting beliefs. These right here, I don't know why I'm doing my European accent right now, but that is my necklace for my archangels. I don't know why I was doing a European accent. It was really weird. This is over here. I don't know why I was doing that. You do weird stuff while you channel. I'm just letting you guys know. And with this meditation, what you're going to do is that you're going to find the beliefs that work with you, that work within your system, that work within you growing and progressing and allowing. So you can close your eyes, you can focus on an object, you can allow yourselves to lay down even. And you can also just allow yourselves to be yourself for the first time maybe in your life. Okay, so within this meditation, what you're going to do is that you are going to step out in faith, act on what you act on, avoid what you want to avoid, and really ignore what is trying to come against you, what is trying to stop you, what is trying to make you feel limited, to make you feel small, that wants to put you in the box of the ego, and just say, not today. That is not my life. That is not how I want to live my existence. But I'm going to live my existence according to my divine blueprint. And by me saying that, I'm putting my foot down and I'm allowing myself to cut the cords, to cut the narrative, to cut the bullshit, and cut the tension with a knife. To say that those limiting beliefs have no reason to be here anymore. I accept them. I love them. I know that they got me to where I needed today. And if I did not have those limiting beliefs, I would not be able to transcend the limiting human condition within myself, so that I can persevere and be happy, to be whole, to be wealthy, and to turn over a new leaf within my life. And in this moment, you can just allow yourself to see the root cause of why those limiting beliefs arise. And also just to lift the veil over your eyes. To lift it over your eyes so that you can close your eyes to see again. And as much as we seek within and change the polarity of positive and negative, to choose different affirmations and mantras, but to choose switch words and to change the way that we vocalize everything. Our spelling, what we're attracting to ourselves, what we're speaking into existence, how we're interacting with our reality as a whole. The ability to transcend our beliefs is the ability to completely transform and to let go and to be non-attached and to really align to the power that we've forgotten. Now we have flipped the script and we've put it on the divine to show that we're faithful, that we trust ourselves, that we accept ourselves, but we have empowerment and we have the ability to become that power. And that power has risen inside of us so that we can become a channel of genuine source of energy. So that the source of energy is fully realized, that there is always reception, that you're receiving so that you can help others receive, but also you're receiving so that you can give. And the much more that you give, you can receive. And as many belief systems as you let go of, then you're adding something within your space, which is inclusion. And you're excluding, and you're ignoring, and you're completely disregarding the limiting beliefs that come into your space. And in this moment, you've literally let go. Because you get to decide. You get to choose. You get to act on free will. You have actions. And you have the ability to change. And just move closer to yourself. Move closer to unity. And move closer to being courageous and fearless in the way that you want to carry out your beliefs. Allow them to support you. Allow them to know you. And allow yourself to receive the new belief systems that are inside of your vortex. And just feel as if all of your thoughts are downloads and codes and encrypted messages and intelligence that allows you to channel. It allows you to channel the divinity within yourself. It allows you to be bold, to be courageous, to be loving, to be amazing, to be filled with spirit. This is where you hone it all in. This is where you bring it all back and you reclaim your power. That's why you empower. That's why you inspire. That's why you aspire to be stuff. And that's why you have the belief systems that completely support your mission, your goals, your ambition, your drive, your emulation of source energy. Sometimes the first step is to stop the world and take a deep breath. To not think, but to just be, not even to be aware, and to allow, and to see what changes in your third eye. This is the art of fulfillment. This is the art of self-love. This is the art of self-care. And this is where you have automatic choices, automatic thoughts, and whatever comes out of you is just of a holistic nature. It's just progression, it's overflowing, it is just pure ecstasy and abundance. So everybody take a deep breath. Exhale. And so it is. And that is how we bring our belief systems to a grounded form. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this live, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Also, you guys can book private sessions with me. This is White Wolf, and I have PayPal, Cashapp, and Venmo. So just let me know if you use any of those, and also 2 hours for $220. And when I go live, I usually do $15 donations when I go live. So I hope you guys are doing well. And I hope that you really enjoyed the live feed itself, and I hope it was very informational. And I just do these messages whenever I feel led to do it, and I just do them when I feel called to do them. And I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate you being a part of the live itself. And also, if you're booking a private session, just text me. Don't email me because nobody gets back to me on email. Just text me and I'll text you my contact information. So, until next time, and this is the second shirt that I've sweated out today. Actually, the third. So, thank you guys. God bless. Namaste. This is White Wolf. Until next time.